Hello, thanks for joining me, astrologer Patrick Arundell, for your in-depth horoscope forecast for week commencing the 19th of August for the Sun or the Ascendant. If you've yet to subscribe to my channel, I'd be grateful if you did so now. This week begins with a shift of emphasis beginning to take shape. Late last week, Mars, the planet of drive, moved into the sign of Virgo. Now, this is a bit counterintuitive because Mars is about the individual. It's about our desire to get instant gratification. It's a more masculine energy. Of course, Virgo is the virgin. It is about sacrifice and purity. But Mars in this area can see us able to work harder, sustain our efforts in a much more focused way, and look for tangible results. Now, Mars is going to be joined on Wednesday by Venus. Now, Venus in the sign of Virgo is also quite self-sacrificing. And then they're both joined on Friday by the Sun, which returns to Virgo for the first time in 11 months. Now, in the last phase of this week, the three are going to be together. So we have a stellium. And this is going to be fascinating because they're also going to be linking to Uranus in the sign of Taurus. So we have this greater emphasis on the things that require our attention to detail and where we need to be thorough and precise and discriminating, which all comes from that Virgo energy. But there's also a push to be creative, inventive, and a bit spontaneous, which is coming from the energy from Uranus. Also, as we enter into this week, we still have the backdrop of last week's Venus-infused full moon, which occurred in the sign of Aquarius. So we were already being asked to juggle our priorities and manage our time, especially in a social or romantic context. So I think what this Virgo energy is going to ask us to do is really focus. And the interesting thing also is there is a quarter moon on Friday in the sign of Gemini, which could see us tempted, because of the Virgo energy, to almost be too virtuous and to try to pack in so much at the end of this week that we actually end up spreading ourselves too thinly. So really prioritizing on what's really important is going to be really helpful. And the other thing that's happening this week is that Mercury, now it's going forwards in the sign of Leo, is actually forging a superb angle to Jupiter. So Jupiter, of course, is in Sagittarius, itself going forwards. So if there is a scheme which requires us to think big, be positive, but apply ourselves in a very precise way, which is supported by this Virgo energy, well, we're certainly getting it all together. But it's important to understand that the stellium between the Sun and Venus also links with Mars, and that's quite a sultry combination. So it may say us orientated in some way with our passions to do something that can be good for someone or good for a relationship, but especially where we can think of another person's needs and be a bit more thoughtful or practical in the way that we help them. For you personally, Sagittarius, your sector of success really comes under the astral microscope. This is a time to take your skills and talents really seriously. Even if you're someone who's pretty committed to your work and professional obligations anyway, you can use a combination of planetary energy to be more determined, perhaps use your personal contacts to good effect, or to set your goals in a more clear-sighted way. Now, your ruler, Jupiter, is going to continue to forge a marvellous angle with Mercury. And this does suggest that if you can keep your horizons wide and consider anything to do with travel, overseas contacts, or knowledge-based jobs or applications, I think those are areas that you could particularly do well. There is a quarter moon which occurs on Friday, and this does suggest that one professional relationship may need a little bit of care this week. If you are doing a presentation or you're having an interview, you may have to toggle between wanting to be naturally yourself, which is a very Sagittarius trait, or actually understanding what is expected of you. So it's about finding a nice balance between the two. And then you most certainly can put your best foot forwards and come across really effectively. If you'd like to know more about personal astrology based on your time, date and place of birth, please click on the link beneath this video. You can order a year's forecast and a character analysis with a 30% discount, or choose to have a one-to-one consultation with me. But for now, good luck and goodbye.